The St. Louis Blues are now 3-0 in the Winter Classic.
Hey, this is Brent Chen. Subscribe to Locked On Blues.
You're Locked On Blues, your daily podcast on the St. Louis Blues. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And welcome back to Locked On Blues. I am your host of Locked On Blues, Haley Taylor Simon, talking to you all things about our St. Louis Blues here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today on Locked On Blues, it's going to be a fun episode because I will be reacting to the Winter Classic. And what exactly do I mean? I'm sure you saw the game, but it was actually insane. And there's so much that we need to talk about. So not only are we going to break down who scored, not only are we going to break down how awesome Binner was in net, there were so many other things besides what actually happened on the ice. And we have to talk about it. So we have a lot to get into on today's episode of Locked On Blues. So yes, the Blues defeated the Blackhawks 6-2. And it's funny. Well, not funny, but I thought the game heading into the game was going to go to overtime just because of how the Blues didn't really seem to be playing that well leading up to it. So that was on me. So first off, I'll own up to that. Okay. They had a really bad 4-2 loss to the Sabres a couple days prior. So obviously in my head, I was like, you know what? I don't know if they're going to be able to build that momentum up going to Chicago Wrigley Field. So I was a little bit concerned. However, the Blues did show up. So we have to break down who scored because it was so monumental. But prior to the game, they had practice the day before, got to go on the ice, family skate. And it was so fun seeing the guys in just this really cool, kind of relaxed environment. I'm sure they were really excited, but Panger made an appearance and he was kind of chirping a little bit with Jordan Binnington. And I think it's just one of those things where, I mean, he is such a legend. And I know that I understand why he does what he does with the Blackhawks, but I don't know if there's somebody that I like more than Darren Pang. And it's truly remarkable. But the thing is, at the end of the day, he played with the Blackhawks. I understand that, but we love him here in St. Louis. So I just wanted to that was actually one of my topics today, was making sure I did mention him. So I wanted to mention him. When the Blues won, they took a team photo and he literally got in the back of the photo. So that just goes to show how much love that he has for his organization. My cat is knocking over my water cup. 1 second. Anyways, we're back. So going on about that skate, seeing the families in that environment, it was awesome. And I think that the Blues players truly did embrace everything that was going on. So wanted to talk about that. Okay, let's talk about the game. Heading into the game, I told you my concerns because of, the loss against Buffalo. I didn't feel good. I know that the Blues had a great win against the Predators, but I mean, at the end of the day, there's only two teams that are not doing as well as you in the Central, and that's literally Nashville and Chicago. So, yeah, I don't know how confident I felt about this game, but it did take me on a very surprising kind of adventure getting ready for the New Year's Eve. And okay. I'll talk about the game, but what I don't understand is that they made the game on New Year's Eve and they scheduled literally the most pointless game. Even the LA Kings acknowledged that it was pointless with LA and New Jersey. And to me, it just didn't make any sense. I know we don't want to compete with, the NCAA, college football playoffs. Okay. I can promise you this. Well, maybe I'm biased, but I'm a hockey person. I do love football, right? I understand if you were competing against the Super Bowl, but the Winter Classic to me is the Super Bowl of events. I know the Stanley Cup Finals and I love the playoffs, obviously. But for me, that is kind of my Super Bowl. So I don't know. It just didn't have the same feel. It was weird. It was the 2025 Winter Classic. And I'm like, nope, we're still in 2024. But anyways, that is enough complaining because I complained about that quite a bit. And yeah, I don't want to be negative because this is a positive episode and now I'm getting annoyed. So that's cool. So In the first period, the Blues began scoring really early. They got on a power play, first power play of the game, obviously. And I have to tell you, it was literally one of those things where it was like a delay of game. So it wasn't like insane. It was like puck over the glass, which wasn't like but it still is a penalty, right? Um, Cam Fowler, he was playing his 1000th NHL game, 9 games with the Blues. Um, when he got traded from Anaheim, he had 991 games that he played with the Ducks since he spent all of his career with Anaheim. So yeah, it was a very special game for him, big game. He talked about how excited he was to be playing his 1000th game, outdoor hockey, Winter Classic. And it was the second outdoor game, actually. He played, Anaheim had an outdoor game a little back ago. Anyways, I'm getting off track. 1000th game, he scores. Like, how insane is that? Now, he has scored before as a Blue, but this was the second goal wearing the Blue note. There might be more. And it was one of those things where Cam, like, the moment it happened, you just saw the biggest smile on his face, and he was so ecstatic about it. And I truly cannot imagine being in a situation where you score your first NHL goal, Wrigley Field, and it's your 1000th game. You're on a new team. Like, so many things have happened to him, but for it to be lined up for him to be coming here to St. Louis and playing for the Blues, and having the opportunity to play in the Winter Classic, with his career that he's had, it's truly an honor because we went over how the Winter Classic was formed in 2008. Okay. Anaheim hasn't played in the Winter Classic. So for him, huge thing. Even the Ducks Twitter account even, tweeted at him and congratulated him. Huge, huge, huge game for him. All right, let's continue on. So anyways, Jordan Kyrou had a power play goal, and this was a typical Bruzy goal. It was Noah Allen for holding against him, and Jakey Neighbors and Holloway with the assist. And one thing about Jordan Kyrou is that, like, this man, when it comes to Winter Classic goals, always rely on him. And he was one of the players that I told you would score. I just felt it. So great goal for Kyrou. Taylor Hall. Like, at this point, am I surprised? No. He scored for Chicago on their power play, and Philip Broberg had an interference against our boy Patty Maroon. I love Pat Maroon, I do, but it's so weird to me, like, seeing him in a Blackhawks like sweater. That's weird to me. I can't imagine, honestly, being in a situation like playing against your former team, but it's like the team that you like grew up watching. I can't even imagine, but I love Pat Maroon, and yeah, that's it. I could just go on about how I love Pat Maroon. So, kind of like the end of the first period, I saw one of the best intermission performances from Chance the Rapper. And I know, Haley, this is a hockey podcast. Okay, well, guess what? It was on the Winter Classic, so I'm going to talk about it. When Chance opened up with no problem, I was like, take me back to 2017. Life is good again. No, but it was really cool. And it was such a great performance. I know Smashing Pumpkins. I should have mentioned that they played, with introducing the teams. It was such a great event in terms of music and obviously the game, but I thought Chance's performance was absolutely electric. Now, Chance the Rapper, he is from Chicago. He's a huge Blackhawks fan, which we kind of all knew, right? But the best thing about Chance the Rapper, okay, is when he did the bit as Laszlo Holmes from SNL. And it is one of the funniest things. It's like, let's do that hockey. And for whatever reason, it just kind of clicked to me. I was like, wow, he literally has been so active and involved in the NHL. And even like today, I see different social media accounts like use some of the lines that he had from his skits, which just goes to show the impact. However, I was disappointed that he never said, let's do that hockey. I was waiting for that, but it just was an incredible performance from Chance the Rapper. All right, as we get ready to talk about the second period, I want to talk to you really quickly about my amazing friends over at Game Time. Okay, let's do this. Game Time, get it? I love going to live events, whether it's sports, music, theater, or comedy. One of my favorite memories was attending a concert last year, and the energy was unforgettable. Now, Game Time has made it even easier to get tickets for your favorite events with their new feature, Game Time Picks. The feature filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Recently, I was looking for tickets for an upcoming event, okay? And I was using the Game Time app, and I was able to see, with Game Time Picks, great deals, and even a seat view from my seat before buying it. The Super deal was particularly impressive, offering great seats at unbelievable prices. Plus, the app's all in pricing shows the total cost upfront with no surprise fees at checkout. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. All right, let's talk about this because it's fun. It's fun. Okay. So second period begins. And I was like, I don't want to say it was more Chicago-y dominant right away, but the Blackhawks definitely did step it up in terms of puck possession. They definitely were playing like a little bit more aggressive, but again, the Blues absolutely dominated because Justin Folk, and I did not expect him. Now, I did say that I thought, who did I say was going to score? Oh yeah, I only had one guy score that I thought was going to score. No, two guys out of my four, right? Anyways, Justin Folk, I did not have him down scoring. He actually ended up scoring a really nice goal. Um, so I really fast, by the way. I know I'm backtracking. Jordan Kyrou's goal. I just was thinking about it. And I don't think I gave Jake Neighbors enough credit at all. Okay. The pass that he had to Kyrie that fed him the puck, and Kyrie was able just to chip it right in. Beautiful. Okay. Sorry. I had to just go back on that. Anyways, Justin Folk scores, makes it 3-1. Then, offer sheet kid, Dylan Holloway, with his 14th goal of the season for the Blues, and makes it 4-1. And it was assisted by Justin Folk and Captain Braden Shen. And it's Shen's, by the way, 14th assist. So 4-1. Then with time winding down, okay, with a great feed from Textier, Cam Fowler scores his second goal of the game, makes it 5-1. And I have to tell you, he was absolutely electric in this game. He played some of his best hockey, and it was very impressive. I think for whatever reason, this was the Cam Fowler game, okay? Tyler Bertuzzi scores on the power play for Chicago. And you know what's ironic, though? And I know I've mentioned this before. Like, for instance, Bertuzzi scored on the power play, right? I mentioned that. And it's always like, I don't know. I feel like it's always like little silly things like Alexei Turchenko, he tripped him, but like the Blues just have to clean that up a little bit. And they haven't been doing that well either on special teams. Like, let's be for real for a second. The two Chicago goals that were scored were all power play goals for Chicago when the Blues were shorthanded. Like, you should not be that bad on the PK. I'm just saying. And it's crazy, too, that the first three goals of the game were all in the power play from the first period. But, yeah, they need to work on that. I don't want to be too hard on the Blues because they did win, but that's just my concern. All right. Anyways, makes it 5-1. We're heading into the third period. I told you about Bertuzzi's goal. Connor Bedard did get the secondary assist, his 23rd of the season. I'm not a hater. This sounds like I'm about to say something kind of like a hater would say. I think Connor Bedard is a super talented player. There is no denying that. But this doesn't sound awful. But I think that the NHL has had a lot of focus on him. And even like with the way they were promoting this game, it was really all just kind of Connor Bedard, Connor Bedard. And for me, and as somebody that genuinely is over it, right? Um, I was happy to see some other people get recognition. I know I'm awful. I'm sorry, but like I had to say it. Finally, Texier assisted Fowler, so it's only fair that Texier was able to get the sixth goal of the game. Um, and that was fed by Justin Fulp and Nathan Walker. So Robert Thomas and Bushi both assisted, by the way, for Fowler's first goal. And I had both of those players to score a goal. But it's like everyone at least got points. I did have Kyrie scoring. And yeah, so listen, Justin Folk had a great game, 1 goal, 2 assists. You know, you can't be mad about that whatsoever. But it was a really, really good game, energetic game for the Blues. And it was probably, I mean, let's face it, it was the Cam Fowler game. It was actually insanity. And I know that the competition maybe wasn't as bad. And there were so many, great moments from the game. It's funny. It they were showing the guys walking between in periods when they were in intermission down the steps, and like some of the like Alexi was struggling, and then you have a guy like Joel Hofer in his goalie pads just casually walking, and it was really great, but it was unbelievable. And another thing too is um there were so many Blues fans that went. I know I said I was gonna go. I wasn't able to get to Chicago. But obviously I was watching. I even canceled my New Year's Eve dinner to finish watching the game. So like, what's up? But anywho, I just kept on hearing, "Let's go Blues." And I was like, this is so cool. Like this was one of those experiences that I would have loved to be at. And even Coach Montgomery was talking about it too. I know that he did like a in-game like interview, right? And he was saying hearing the back and forth between the teams, it was like a special event, and he felt like it was special, and it was. And I think that Blues fans, I mean, we hate the Cubs. Um, I'm just saying. So it's deeper than anything else, but it was such a great game. Bennington, by the way, he had 28 saves for the Blues to win in. So it was really good. So anyways, being 3-0 and 0, 3-0 and 0 in the Winter Classic is such a huge honor. 2-0 now against the Blackhawks of the Winter Classic. And they defeated the Blackhawks 4-1 here in Busch Stadium. So that was back in 2017. So it's been definitely really good for the Blues. And Bennington said he's talking about like the game itself, and he said we were talking after the game in the room, and just from the walkout, the national anthem, the music going, the flyover, and the fireworks, guys were getting emotional. And I can't even imagine. Like I was watching this, right, and I'm watching at home. It's raining a little bit. I'm a little concerned, but it just felt so special. And that flyover and just everything about the game just felt special. And, for some of these kids, I say kids, like I'm the same age as them. Yeah, I had to take a moment because I was like getting a little teary. It just was really cool as a Blues fan to see all of the NHL like supporting us, right? There's teams that get that kind of support all the time from the National Hockey League, especially the original six. And I know Chicago, I get it. Like I'm not like denying that. Um, but for the Blues, especially with kind of the slump that they've been in for the past couple seasons, it's definitely kind of been awful in terms of feeling recognized as a team. So seeing just like the national like attention was a really special thing, at least for me. And I'm sure some of my other fellow Blues fans, I know that it just meant a lot. So I'm going to give you my overall reaction now that I broke down the game. But first, I want to talk to you about my friends over at FanDuel. The NFL playoff act the NFL playoffs are almost here, but it's not too late to get in on regular season action with FanDuel, America's number one sports book. Because right now, new customers can finish the season strong with $250 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. FanDuel has so many ways for you to pick up a W. I love betting on which players will score a touchdown and how many points each team will score. It's thrilling, okay? So this is what I need you to do because NFL playoffs, listen, I think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl. I'm a little biased, but that's what I think is going to happen. So take them now. It's probably going to have to be like parlayed with something else if you want to make some good money. But again, FanDuel literally has you covered. So just visit fanduel.com to join today. That's fanduel.com for your chance at $250 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. So, my overall reaction to the Winter Classic, it's simple, it's easy. Here we go. One, I thought it being on New Year's Eve was stupid. However, I thought it was still a great game for the Blues, not if you're the Blackhawks. You know, so many cool things posted on social media of the fans singing When the Blues Go Marching, and it was so cool. And we need to do that at home games now. But there was just so many positives from every aspect of that game. And I think for me, right, I think this might have given the team their confidence back again. I know that you and we've talked about the Blues' confidence levels. We've talked about how some of their losses against some of these teams that were not as good might be a little defeating, but you were really given an opportunity on a national stage, a national platform to redeem yourself in a sense. Sure, you may not be a playoff team. However, you still now have at least the respect. I know Chicago isn't good. I know I hear and I see the comments about to come. However, it doesn't matter if you're playing the best or the worst team on any night, you can win. And that's what I love so much about sports. And again, like when you think about it, you think about how Cam Fowler did. Unbelievable. And I am just so excited for these players and how they just continue to grow and grow. And that is the thing. I mean, it was the Cam Fowler game. I said cry about it, Edmonton. Like, oh well. But I mean, it's unbelievable. Like, I have to talk about Cam Fowler one more time. Scoring a power play goal in your 1000th game that you're playing in the Winter Classic. Explain to me when it gets better. I mean, I'm sure we're holding up the Stanley Cup. I know, obvious answer. But other than that, that doesn't happen. I mean, I guess unless it was like his birthday too at the same time. But it was just such a great game from all the players. And the Blues walked out, I told you, wearing like a Gretzky warm-up outfit. And it's funny. So this is actually kind of funny. So Wayne Gretzky told the Blues that the Winter Classic MVP wins the car, and Wayne is the selection committee. And after the second Gretzky said it, Braden Shen, oh no, after the second, oh, so this is in between periods. Shen texted him saying that he wanted the car. So I thought that was really funny, and it was just really great. I mean, like, honestly, this is one of the and people say like, "Oh, this rivalry isn't good." It's a great one. And even Shenner, in this late in the second, he had a fight. And like, I'm just saying, like, he really did play a good game. Um, did he win the fight? No, but like at least he got in it, right? But overall, it was a really good win. Also, the Coach Montgomery's jacket, they were selling it for like $1,000. And I just was like, why? It's just so expensive. But it was so cool. And words can't describe how special this was. And now the Blues are able to really focus on having a good January, okay? I know I'm going to say this over and over again, and this might be the most positive episode. Um, However, they still have a job to get done, and that's to win hockey games. So it's 2 points. Cool, awesome in the win column. Let's go. But I don't know, like it just was really weird the whole having on New Year's Eve. And now the Blackhawks, by the way, are 0-5 in the Winter Classic. So again, I'm just saying, like, maybe stop having Chicago in the Winter Classic. Like, like I'm not gonna say not to. I'm just saying that wow, people on Twitter that don't like the Blues, like I don't know why you don't like the Blues. I understand people not liking Chicago, but like St. Louis is one of the most likable teams. But oh well, that's what's up. And we did that hockey. So I will talk to you later. And like always, since we're winners of the Winter Classic, again, because that's all we do here is win, except actually we don't win all the time. But like I'll take the win. A win is a win. All right, I'll talk to you later. And like always, let's go Blues.